The state of the Chicago Bears. The Bears believe they can win with Justin Fields, but they are also enamored with Caleb Williams. What's up, guys? Swift here today, and I want to take just a few minutes to step back and address what is on every Bears fan's mind. What is Ryan Poles going to do with the number one pick and at the quarterback position? Too many people believe that Poles has moved on from Justin Fields. I've spent a lot of time in the last month or more digging for as much information as I could find, talking to scouts and reporters off the record at the Senior Bowl, and continuing to dig all the way through the NFL Combine. As I sit here today, there are multiple things I believe, and I want to talk a little bit about each one. I think Ryan Poles is not 100% sold on Caleb Williams yet. I also believe Ryan Poles is enamored with Caleb Williams. He loves his game. But Poles is also not going to give Justin Fields away. And I think the Chicago Bears believe they can win with Justin Fields. And then on top of that, I think teams are reluctant to pay the historic price for the number one pick. I believe every one of those things is true. Ryan Poles loves Caleb Williams, but he's not 100% yet. He also believes we can win with Justin Fields, and he's not going to just give him away. But also, teams are reluctant to pay a historic price for the number one pick. What does all this mean? Let me break down each one and talk a bit more about it. First, I believe teams do not want to overpay for the number one pick like the Panthers did last year. Yes, teams are still willing to give up a massive haul, but so far, the price Poles has set, nobody is willing to meet it yet. That doesn't mean nobody is close or a deal couldn't happen soon, but word from everyone is that Ryan Poles wants a historic amount of draft capital, and so far nobody has taken the bait. I like that Ryan Poles set the bar really high. This is the biggest decision in Bears history. And the next up, word around the NFL is that the Bears do believe they can win with Justin Fields. This is a team that finished strong in 2023, winning 4 of its last 6 games and 5 of the last 7. The defense transformed into a top 10 unit after Montez Sweat arrived. This team dominated the Detroit Lions for 7.5 out of 8 quarters of football. Yeah, that's right. The team that went to the NFC Championship, the Detroit Lions, we had them on the ropes twice and put up over 50 plus points in those 2 games. And on top of that, in those head to head matchups, Justin Fields clearly outplayed Jared Goff. Let's take a deeper dive at the 2 times the Bears played the Lions in 2023. Justin Fields was healthy for both games, and they both took place in the second half of the season, giving us a better look at what Fields is going to look like heading into next year. Justin easily outplayed Goff in both head to head matchups. Justin passed for just as many yards as Goff did, but added an extra 162 rushing yards to go on top of it. Fields averaged 277 total yards per game compared to Goff's 200. Also, Goff was a turnover machine with 5 interceptions and a lost fumble. Looking at these numbers, it's not hard to see the potential that Justin Fields has. This was without having his 5 starting offensive linemen and with only one legitimate receiver on offense. And Justin did this to the team that went to the NFC Championship last year. But the point here is that the Chicago Bears front office does believe that they can win with Justin Fields. But Ryan Poles isn't going to just give him away. That much is clear. But then we get to the next point. I also believe that Ryan Poles is enamored with Caleb Williams. From his college tape to the fact that Poles did not shy away from the Mahomes comparisons at the scouting combine. Ryan Poles has also spoke about what a unique position we are in this offseason. Scouts around the NFL view Caleb Williams as special. I believe our front office really likes Caleb Williams, and we could definitely end up drafting him. But I do not believe that decision has been made yet. They are doing every bit of their due diligence and doing as much background work on Caleb Williams as they possibly can. Now, I wanted to take a minute to once again bring up Caleb's medicals. I want to make it clear. I just want to make it clear here that I've never even as much as hinted that Caleb Williams' medicals would have any kind of issue. For some reason, I'm getting comments about that, and it's pure nonsense. I do not speculate on players' medicals. I simply correct narratives here. I'm not a doctor, and I have zero experience in the medical world. The only reason that anyone in the entire football landscape is talking about Caleb Williams' medicals is because he was the first player in NFL combine history to not provide them. He brought this on himself. I'm not trying to put Caleb down. This isn't bad for Caleb. He's part of a new wave of players. He's made millions in NIL money. He is part of a first group of players that have done that. I'm not taking away from Caleb here. I'm simply stating how NFL teams work. I've never once hinted or even thought there was a remote chance that there was going to be something wrong with Caleb's medicals. That's not what I've ever said. My point is, NFL teams simply do not invest $40 million into 22-year-old young men without getting medical exams on them. They simply do not make those decisions before that point in the process. So when people are telling you they're 100%, I just don't believe it's possible they can be. They could be 98%. 98% is possible, but 100% just isn't yet. I mean, we just saw Ryan Poles have to back out of a deal with Larry Ogunjobi just 2 years ago because he failed a physical. Teams simply don't draft players or make decisions on drafting players before they talk to them and get medicals. That's just a fact. That has nothing to do with Justin Fields. Please don't twist my words. I 100% believe Caleb Williams' medicals will never be an issue. The issue is that he hasn't given them to teams yet. The other 300 plus players that were at the NFL Combine did. And that is the only reason anyone is talking about Caleb's medicals. Caleb could have avoided having anyone ever talk about this by simply doing what every other player in NFL Combine history has done and went through the medical exam. Instead, he wanted to be different. So, therefore, sometimes we have to explain the process so that people understand what's going on. Mostly because people keep saying, they keep repeating it over and over, and sometimes even yelling it, that the Bears are 100% sold on Caleb Williams. They could definitely be 98% sold, but without getting medicals, no team in the NFL is 100% certain of anything. This is why all moves say pending a physical. But here we are, just a couple of days away from NFL free agency. The Bears have 2 top 10 draft picks and a lot of cap space to make noise this offseason. We also have the choice of having either Justin Fields or Caleb Williams or anyone we want in the draft at quarterback. Drake May, they want him, they can get him. We have the number 1 pick. The last thing anyone wants to be talking about right now is any player's medicals. We want to be getting ready for free agency and talking about the NFL draft. There's also a rumor going around on Twitter saying that Justin Fields is staying in Chicago. It's just a rumor, nothing to it, but hopefully we will find out an answer soon. I'm going to stay busy preparing for NFL free agency and continuing to watch a ton of tape on NFL draft prospects. I'm tired of the speculation. And in celebration of 20,000 subscribers and the most important offseason in Bears history, I'm officially swapping to the King Poles logo for the channel. I've always planned on changing my logo up. I don't like the narratives that I'm a Fields fan and not a Bears fan. That's just ridiculous. I bleed blue and orange, and this team stays on my mind 365 days a year. Ask anyone who knows me. I have some free agency videos in the works and a ton more content as well. Please remember to hit that like button for me. Stay tuned, and until next time, bear down.